Down.
Tonight, old but not obsolete.
One more time. Why do you want to go to a gym? Why do you want to train? You're 70 now. Why bother now? It's those people who should train.
Making health and life better.
This is one of the biggest problems we have to solve in the 21st century.
Saving the NHS hard cash.
Investing in preventative services, that's got to have a long-term benefit.
And helping people change for good.
It's social, it's getting out, it's being alive.
Good evening and welcome to the Tonight programme. Britain's population is getting older, and while the years post-retirement can be pretty golden for some, it can also come at a cost. The NHS is spending a huge part of its budget treating illnesses among the elderly. Research suggests loneliness and lack of exercise are some of the big causes of poor health in pensioners. Could changing that make a difference? We're about to find out. Welcome to the Tonight OAP Bootcamp.
It used to be said only two things in life were certain: death and taxes. But now perhaps there's a third, for the majority of us will have a much longer old age. Back in the 1960s, only around 1 in 10 Britons was aged over 65. But across the next 20 years, that figure's expected to rise to nearly 1 in 4. And by 2050, over 500,000 Britons will be over 100 years old, compared to just 15,000 today.
Most of us are living longer. The problem is we're spending more of those years proportionally in poor health. If we continue to see the pattern we've had for the last 30 years, this problem's going to get worse. Eventually, it will bankrupt the NHS.
So what's the best way to stay well as we age?
Morning, Neville. Paper and milk.
Tonight gathered together a group of willing volunteers, all in their 70s and 80s.
OK, ladies and gentlemen.
They're going to help us with a little experiment.
I'm Danny, I'm 74 and I live in Wolverhampton. I work part-time at the Black Country Museum, driving the trams, the buses, all the transport, and thoroughly enjoy it.
I'm Mary, I'm 83 and I'm living in the extra care village, which I love. I live with my husband and we have independent living.
Thank you. My name is Eddie. I'm 76 years of age, but 36 in my head.
My name is Shirley. I'm 79 years old. I was born and raised in Canada and came here 59 years ago on my honeymoon, and I'm still here.
I'm Keith, and I live here in a retirement village for over 55s. I'm the village paper boy.
Between them, all of our oldies have many of the illnesses that can afflict us in later life. They don't know it yet, but we're going to put them on a crash course, learning all about how to improve their health in old age.
I suffer with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis.
I struggle with my balance sometimes. For the simple reason I keep drifting to the left because I had an operation of my left eye and I had to straighten it.
Becoming accustomed to disability or accepting disability is something that's very, very hard going indeed. It gets you down, it can make you depressed. I certainly suffered with that until I came to terms with it and learned to cope with it.
Health-wise, I'm generally fit. I do have slight high blood pressure and a bit of osteoporosis.
I have issues with high blood pressure, and I've had 2 mini strokes, one 12 months ago.
Following a long illness, Keith's beloved wife Margaret passed away last summer, and at 81 years old, he's now adjusting to life on his own.
She fought to the end, but sadly she just couldn't make it. So And for me, old age is not about sitting in your home looking at the television all day. Life is for living.
Morning, everybody.
Before our volunteers start, we need to check their current fitness. With the help of Aston University's Centre for Healthy Ageing, we put them through some basic tests to assess their physical and mental strength.
So we've got 11.45 seconds.
I'm on the reserve bench.
What we know about physical activity and ageing is that the more physically active you are, the more you're going to maintain your muscle mass and muscle quality. That means you'll be able to move around, get up out of your chairs safely, and this is going to reduce your risk of falls. Stop. 60.7, which is remarkably strong. Well done. Maintaining physical activity levels, making sure that every day you're getting up and about, going for a walk, being as active as you can safely is really important because it's going to prevent a vicious cycle down towards frailty and inactivity. The good news is that none of you have any significant physical signs of frailty. You all performed well on most of the tests. There were one or two small issues with balance for some of you, so that's something to think about. But generally speaking, everybody did really well.
Good news indeed. They've passed their personal MOTs, and we break it to them that they're now ready to take part in the Tonight OAP Bootcamp. It'll be a week of structured activities aimed at improving their health and well-being.
OK.
We'll need it.
It's day one, and our OAP boot campers are about to meet someone who's possibly Britain's oldest personal trainer. 74-year-old Eddie DJ believes you're never too old for the gym, and that too many are too easily put off.
They have aches and pains and twinges. They start believing they cannot go and train. And their peers say, well, why do you want to go to a gym? Why do you want to train? You're 70 now, why bother now? It's those people who should train. It's their life, it's their body. They should make sure that they give it the best shot they can.
Eddie's credentials are pretty impressive. An ex-Royal Navy man, he's been a British national bodybuilding champion twice. But can he convince our group that being a grey-haired gym bunny might work for them?
We're going to start off with movement. Most of you have some form of rigidity in the body. It's called muscle amnesia, where the muscles cease to function pure and simply because they're not being told. Down, don't go all the way down necessarily, and back up. Good, and then back.
Eddie says keeping fit not only makes you feel well generally, but also helps older people recover more quickly after a crisis.
Good. Here you're working all your hip flexors and your core. If you've got any level of fitness before you go into an operation or after the operation, you have much better results in recuperation and rehab. If you go in there reasonably fit, you've got a very good fighting chance to come out better. This exercise I call taking the dog for a walk. Step forward with your left leg.
But as many gym goers know, perhaps the hardest thing of all is staying motivated.
This is called a static dynamic exercise. I say to my clients, look forward to coming, hate doing it, but when you walk out, feel you've achieved something. Doesn't matter how small. It gives you that feeling of elation that you've actually done something, and it gives you a reason to come back. Good, relax.
The exercises that he's able to do at 74 is absolutely phenomenal.
Over your head.
It was very, very inspiring.
I found it very beneficial in that muscles were exercised in a gentle way. It's something I'd like to carry on with. I enjoyed it.
It's day two and time to dust off those tutus. Birmingham Royal Ballet has teamed up with an organisation called Arts Enterprise with a Social Purpose, or ESOP for short, to run movement classes designed especially for older people.
When I first got to the ballet, I thought to myself, what are we going to do? I've never done ballet before.
Our boot campers are joining one of their many regular ballet therapy sessions.
So welcome everyone. Today I'm going to put you through your paces. We're going to learn some moves from some of Birmingham Royal Ballet's repertoire. Now at the moment we're going to be working on a bit of the chicken step. The health issues we're seeing in the classes are a real range. So we've got people with arthritis, joint mobility issues. We could have had joint replacement, so hip replacement, knee replacement. We've got somebody with dementia, partially sighted. So there's a whole range. And then we have people that just feel uneasy on their feet, or perhaps have had a fall recently, and they just feel that they need something to help them keep on top of their fitness and well-being, really. So it's a real wide range that we're working with. Power up. We focus on kind of endurance, so trying to build up that aerobic stamina, which is really important for the older people. So, just marching on the spot for me.
Treating arthritis alone costs the NHS over £2.5 billion annually. Regular movement can really help people with severe joint pain, and in some cases it can even reduce the need for expensive medication.
Now to our side sway, to the right. They do say that when, especially kind of doing the strength and balance, that the pain can sometimes be relieved by exercise. So it's just working with the participants one-on-one and seeing how they're feeling every time they come to the sessions.
Oh, we better practice this, I think.
One, up, down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I felt more stiff and that than I did from any of the other exercises we did, because she did really have a stretching, and I think we were using muscles that we hadn't probably used for some time.